guys, sorry about the weird lighting. I don't have my fancy lights with me here today, but I'm here with my friend Cruise Russo, and today we want to talk to you guys about some of the movies that are coming out this year that we're either excited about, not so sure about, or are just dreading. I was gonna do one for every month, but what was it, September and October didn't really have any good movies that are coming out, so there's actually 3 from November that are coming. But there's 12 total. First up, coming up February 12th, is one that is pretty anticipated.
How do you feel about the Deadpool film?
I have never read any Deadpool comics or anything, but I do know a little bit about the character, and I am pretty excited about it. I also really like Ryan Reynolds, so.
I don't like Ryan Reynolds. I'm not a huge fan of the character Deadpool, and I'm not looking forward to this movie. It will probably be a good movie, but it's just not for me. I do like the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. This is not part of that universe, and actually my complaints would be that this is another one of the conflicting movies. They're just using whatever marketing and licensing they're allowed to use, basically, because all the other characters are too busy fighting apocalypse.
I think it'll be very entertaining, at least.
I think it will be entertaining. I do like the breaking of the fourth wall that is consistent in the comic books, but in the comic books it's amazing, and in the movies it might come off too cheesy. It will definitely be better than the previous Ryan Reynolds Deadpool incarnation with his mouth sewn shut and mutant hands. So it can only go up from there.
So next is Batman.
2.
Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So this is coming out March 25th, and
it's not soon enough. Right now, any of you Batman vs. Superman haters out there, they already have the whole movie finished, and they sent out all the previews, and they did a screening of it already, and every movie executive and critic who was there gave it a standing ovation. I think that's pretty strong, saying that it's going to be pretty good. And after they got that standing ovation, Warner Brothers has already signed Ben Affleck to direct, co-write, and star in the next 3 Batman movies.
I'm excited for it. It looks like it's going to be an amazing movie. I am partial to Christopher Nolan though, so it's kind of like I have to separate.
He's involved.
Well, yeah, I just have to like separate my mind from
It's not the
those
Nolan-verse.
movies. Yeah, but I will say that I'm super excited about Wonder Woman. She looks amazing, and her costume looks really great too.
And she's an Israeli Special Forces military member, so
so
mess you up.
I'm really excited about her being in it.
I think Ben Affleck is an amazing choice for Batman.
For me, like the weirdest thing about it is it's just like so soon after the last trilogy of Batman that it's like it is going to be weird for people to separate.
There's a marketing concern. They have to stay competitive with the Marvel movie franchise. My only complaint would be we got a Superman origin for this universe, and then we're jumping to Batman vs. Superman. We could have got a Superman origin, then a Batman origin, then this movie. But I feel like when this does well, and when like the next following Justice movie does well, there's plenty of space to go back and be like, by the way, here's how Batman got started in our universe.
Next we have The Jungle Book, which is coming out April 15th. I personally am super excited for this movie. The cast lineup is great, and aside from that,
2 thumbs way up.
I'm really loving what Disney is doing by bringing all of the animated movies that we grew up with to life. It's like as we're maturing, they want to market to us, but also to like our future children and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big part of their plan is like you could sell the same movie to the people who liked it the first time, and then for the people who've never even seen the originals, it's just a new audience to have. But this movie is going to be even better, and like I'm calling it Iron Man 4 because it's a Disney movie being directed by Jon Favreau, who is amazing. It's the weirdest, most professional cast, but just like a really weird assortment. You have people like Lupita Nyong'o and Idris Elba, but then you also have Bill Murray and Christopher Walken. I don't think I've ever heard Christopher Walken do voice acting.
Maybe not, but he probably.
He
has a really great voice.
I could do a really bad Christopher Walken impression,
Don't
but
do
I'm
it.
not going to.
Don't do it. Coming out May 8th, and it's Captain America: Civil War.
Which should be one of the movies I'm most excited for, but based on everything I've seen, I'm just getting depressed.
I personally am excited for it. I'm not excited for the storyline just because it makes me sad personally.
Now, the Civil War comic series was 143 issues, of which I read every single one. And I thought, I'm a DC fan, and I thought Civil War was the greatest comic book crossover event of all time because of how important the original story was, the politics of superheroes having to confess their powers and reveal their secret identities and the government getting involved. But all of that just seems like an afterthought in this movie.
You have both sides here. You have the comic book nerd who's read every single issue, and then me, who they're more marketing to.
I understand that changes
the cinematic universe. And even still, I love reading books, and I'm the type of person who can separate the movie from the books and enjoy the movie as a movie.
This will probably be a good standalone movie, but I don't know if it will hit like the keynote points that like revolutionized comics that the book did. But I almost feel like the books were a Spider-Man story, and to my knowledge, he's not even in this movie.
Because of how they're portraying it in the movie, where it's kind of revolving around Bucky almost. I think that's why they've made it a Captain America film rather than an Avengers film. Because it very well could be an Avengers film. It involves almost everyone. The only one I haven't seen in it is the Hulk.
This movie, the way it's filmed too, seems like it links better with the last Captain America movie. That very aggressive, like, espionage style action movie.
Which Winter Soldier was amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Winter Soldier is the best movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, that's undeniable. Start to finish action movie of the past 20 years. Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was probably one of my favorite movies I've ever watched.
Yeah,
it was
so
just amazing.
And so that's why I think they made this a Captain America movie, just because it feels like Winter Soldier. It's Winter Soldier Part 2, it's not Civil War.
Coming out June 17th is one that I'm personally very excited for. Finding Dory. I was a huge fan of Finding Nemo, and I'm absolutely obsessed with Ellen DeGeneres.
I like Finding Nemo. I've seen it a bunch of times. It's very easy to quote all the amazing lines. But I don't feel like I've formulated an opinion on this movie yet. I actually feel like I've been ignoring all the Pixar news because I'm too excited for The Incredibles 2.
I'm excited for it. Mostly for me, it's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, she's a driving force in just media in general. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gonna go see it. It's gonna be good. It's not gonna be bad.
It's gonna make you laugh your butt off.
It might just be overly simple and too repetitive to the first one, but
I think that's okay.
I'm not writing it off. Yeah. Finding Nemo was done. Mm-hmm. This is a second movie. This is not like a sequel at all.
So coming out July 15th, we have the new Ghostbusters movie. I love Melissa McCarthy. I think she's hilarious.
But do you love Ghostbusters?
See, the thing is I haven't watched a Ghostbusters film since I was very young.
Now, see, that's the issue.
It's a remake, and I feel like it's almost more gonna be like a parody of it, even.
It is a parody of it, which is the issue, because the Ghostbusters franchise has already finished. They made the Ghostbusters Telltale video game, which is one of the best video games of all time, and all of the original actors came back to do the voices for the video game even because they were so passionate about it. And then this movie is just like, it's just like, the telltale sign of the industry where they're just like, oh, we've got this property, let's just cash in on it. Let's get some names. Let's even get Chris Hemsworth, who has no reason to be in this movie, to be a sexy male secretary. And don't get me wrong, Melissa McCarthy is absolutely hilarious.
But I don't believe it's actually a remake. I believe it's an extension. Bill Murray is still
it's like
in the film.
It's a requel. And Bill Murray was in this movie reluctantly. You're contractually obligated to be in this movie. It's not tied down by the first movie, but when stuff continues, fans will just be like, oh, remember that thing? But like, without Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray like being the Ghostbusters, and I just don't know if it really is going to be even as good as they think it's going to be. I don't know if it's even going to make money.
I think it has the potential to be a good film, and it has the potential to be a horrible film.
I will make one 100% accurate prediction for this movie, though.
Okay.
I will not be seeing it until it comes out on DVD.
Next, coming out August 5th, we have Suicide Squad.
Okay, and we're done. Next movie, please.
Whenever I heard about it first thing, I was highly anticipating it. I think a lot of people were.
Nope.
And then as soon as pictures started rolling out, and then teasers rolling out and everything, it was just big no,
I was skeptical
no.
right off the bat, because the Suicide Squad is like great if you're a comic book nerd, but like not a main focus in anything, not even in like the Justice League animated show or anything like that. Like Deadshot's in it, but like not this version of Deadshot, not this version of any of these characters. Half of these characters don't even exist in the DC universe until now.
I am a huge Harley person. You guys know this, being on my channel. I've done a cosplay of her. I talk about her all the time. I love Harley, and like I read comic books on her. I've watched animated TV shows where she originated, and this is just not
It's
Harley
not. It's
Quinn.
not any version of her because it's not even like there are 7 great versions of Harley that are all totally different but all equally good. This is an 8th. Why does this exist?
It's just
version?
not. It's not Harley Quinn at all. The newest trailer that just dropped is just really.
It's really bad. The
It's
first
a
one
boring
had
trailer
the first
to
one had
watch.
good parts. It made me want to see the movie, but I knew I was going to be upset about the characters I liked. But I haven't to see it because of Batman and everything like that. Jared Leto is a great choice for the Joker, but I think they were afraid of Heath Ledger's stellar performance that they had to play it so different the two couldn't get compared.
But
and
see,
I
when
think
I
that was
heard
a
him
trap.
talk in this trailer, I felt like he was acting like Heath Ledger, acting like the Joker.
They went for like the trailer trash pimp Joker. He's the
Who's
clown.
kind of trying to be-
He's the clown prince of crime, not like lord of the drug dealing.
Yeah, but then
Crackheads.
also you have Harley who just looks like a prostitute. So
She does. Is she supposed to be a psychiatrist in this movie? I don't know her backstory in this movie, but that does not appear like Dr. Harleen Quinzel could have not fallen that far down the ladder.
yeah, it's just absolutely it's ridiculous is what it is. I'll probably watch it to watch it, but I don't think that I'll enjoy it. Next movie coming up is coming out November 4th, Doctor Strange. I'm interested because it's a Marvel movie and I really enjoy Marvel movies, but I don't really know much about Doctor Strange in general or about what the movie is going to encompass.
I do.
So
But this one I'm not
guy's going for.
disappointed in so far. I mean, granted, there's very, very little information about the movie, but Doctor Strange isn't a character that's important enough to the Marvel Universe that he needs to be there, and people are like, why hasn't he been there yet? Like, oh, why are these aliens killing everyone in New York City where Doctor Strange could just fly in and fix that hole?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he should have been there by now, but he didn't. So, but he's also, like, enough of a background character, even in the comic books, that, like, it's not going to be a problem if they give him a new story. The only issue really with it is he's not likable, ever. He was a jerk surgeon, and he learned magic, and he became more of a jerk. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor.
Yeah.
No denying that. The only issue is he's a lot younger, so they're definitely changing something. And magic.
Yeah.
Magic has not played a part in the Marvel Universe at all. And the other thing is, Doctor Strange doesn't just use magic. The way his magic works is from demons. So they need to bring magic and religion into it if they're going to do it that way, or they're going to have to go for something totally different.
I mean, I'll be looking out for trailers and stuff, of course, because I am interested in seeing it. But like you said, he's kind of, it's not really a character that lots of people are familiar with. It's not like
There's
a
definitely an
famous
opportunity
character.
to make him a popular character,
Yeah.
which I think has a lot to do with the casting of this movie,
Mm-hmm.
because you can take a guy he's freaking Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if it gets more iconic in literature than Sherlock Holmes, and this guy
Mm-hmm.
pulled it off. So you're like, if you want to take an insignificant, not that Doctor Strange is insignificant, but take a lesser known character and make him now popular, you're going to sell a ton of Doctor Strange comic books once Benedict Cumberbatch puts that crazy collar cape on.
I believe this next one is probably one of the most anticipated movies this year, especially for a lot of people who are on my channel.
This guy.
And for me, we literally just watched the trailer again and I had goosebumps the whole time. Coming out November 18th is
Not soon enough.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I am so excited. I think this year is probably a perfect year and a perfect time for another Wizarding World movie, and I'm just like super ecstatic about it.
The scope of the Wizarding World itself has gone off the charts now with 2.5 theme parks and like the books, the movies, Pottermore, all the interviews, the play, two plays.
I think it's really reassuring because it makes us feel like it's not leaving us anytime soon.
No, it's like a
And-
steamroll and it's never gonna stop.
Yeah,
at
and
all.
I have goosebumps just
Such a
thinking about
good-
it right now. It's just something that means so much to me as a person, just growing up with it. So many of my morals in life are just like built around the Wizarding World, and I'm super duper excited to have another movie and to go back even further in time and see more of how this world is developed.
But even better than that is the fact that there's nothing tying this movie down or holding it back whatsoever. It
Right.
does not have a book to be faithful to, which I am one of the biggest Harry Potter fans ever. I've read the books. I lost track after reading the series 17 times, and I've read it several times after that. And I wanted to watch the movies the other night, So I watched 2 of the movies the other night, and I was still mad at them.
If you have read the books, there are little things about the characters that you know that other people don't. And a lot of people in the movies, I don't think Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is even mentioned.
It's on the list of supplies.
Yeah.
In general, it's just, I think it's a logical stepping off point for the Wizarding World universe because, like, J.K. Rowling wrote the movie. David Yates is directing the movie. You have a great writer who has there's no arguments I'm sure they had where they didn't agree on everything, and everybody involved in the making of the movie probably got exactly the movie they wanted to make.
And exactly, and I feel like it's definitely going to feel like the Wizarding World. They start the trailer off with him saying Lumos Maxima, which all of us are very familiar with, and it just makes you feel, I don't know.
Yeah, well, by me bringing up the fact that I didn't like the original Harry Potter movies was me saying, in general, it's going to be the best movie in the Wizarding World so far. I mean, you've got Colin Farrell as Gates, he looks amazing. Eddie Redmayne is like a phenomenal, high-level, like super serious actor, and he's playing this awkward, funny dude who just loves animals.
Yeah. And again, we all know that we love that J.K. Rowling is writing it.
She's put so much of herself into... I was reading an article on Pottermore the other day where she was like, on Pottermore they have all these side articles, but she's like, there's so many ideas and just thoughts I have that aren't even relevant to the story. She developed these stories just so she would know how her characters felt. She had no intention of using these backstories, but she just needed to know, why did Mrs. Weasley do this? Because, this happened to her when she was a child, and that's the way she acts now because of it. Like,
I'm just super excited to watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I think it's going to be an amazing movie, and
there's no way it could disappoint me.
yeah, I'm super excited. I've had goosebumps the whole time we're talking about it because. Okay, coming out November 31st. Is it Pixar or was it
says
just
November
Disney?
23rd on your paper.
November 23rd. So anyways, if you haven't figured it out already, we're talking about Moana. So it appears to be
It's Lilo and Stitch meets Pocahontas.
I don't
starring
think it's anything
Dwayne
like
"The Rock" Johnson.
The only thing that is similar to Lilo and Stitch is that it's Pacific Islander.
Hawaii.
I've heard that she's going to be a princess. I don't know how she's a princess. Just says
She's probably not a princess per se, but as far as the Disney community is involved, they'll do her princess ceremony or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, the character that Dwayne Johnson's playing is the god Maui of Hawaiian and Polynesian culture. So maybe she ends up being a descendant of someone like Hercules or something like that. So I don't know. A lot remains to be seen, but it doesn't seem to be bad. It looks like a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, and all the Disney animation movies that have come out recently have been really good. So
Disney hasn't made like a bad movie since like the 80s.
Very true. So I think that I'll really enjoy it regardless. So
and Dwayne the John Roxon's in it.
John
That's how I say it.
But yeah, it looks good, and that's really all I have to say. Again, there's no trailers out yet or anything, so there's not much plot. You don't really know what's going to happen. So, but I'm excited to see it regardless.
I'm sure there's going to be a surfing montage.
Maybe.
There's gonna be a surfing montage.
Our last and final movie that we have on here is coming out December 16th, and it is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
A Star Wars Story. This takes place before A New Hope, so before the original Star Wars, but after the current TV show Rebels.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? I mean, this is coming out exactly a year after A Force Awakens, but it's not a sequel to it.
Yeah, I was under the assumption that there weren't going to be Disney-owned Star Wars spin-offs until after the second numbered Star Wars movie, but apparently I was wrong.
Right.
I don't know if they rushed this out or if the show is popular enough to warrant the movie, maybe.
The show is really popular right now.
I've not heard anything bad about the show. I have not started watching it yet, though, because basically, like what I did with Clone Wars was the same thing. Waited until it was done, and then I just watched it straight through.
Right, so we're thinking it's pretty much based off of Rebels. It kind of goes
looks
from
like
Rebels,
it's the same characters.
except it is live action instead of animated, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how Star Wars goes back and forth between movies and TV shows, and it's all canon and it's all the same story. That's something that I find really intriguing because there's a lot of things that don't do that. The synopsis is literally one sentence.
It's hardly a sentence. I think it has a verb and a noun in it.
Rebels set out on a mission to steal the plans for the Death Star.
Well, so that's important. So after the Rebels and the show is called Rebels, but also the Rebel Alliance is the Rebels. So I'm sure there's going to be crossover with the characters in the show. And the cool thing, I know a lot about the show Rebels, even having not watched it, and there are a lot of cool Jedi in Rebels who are canon, who were not in anything else. So bringing them into the universe is going to be super cool.
And if you want, you should go onto IMDb and look at the picture that they have on there.
Yeah, the cast looks amazing.
Yeah, the cast
it looks like Star
really
Wars
great.
meets Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it kind of has this very mystical feel about it.
Looks really
it
cool.
almost looks a little steampunk.
Not going to be a bad movie. When you have all the talent from the Lucas companies and the talent from the Disney companies, and they're like, oh, by the way, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so good, and I have faith that this will be good too. So.
It looks really cool.
But I just need to know when the next episode is.
8?
Yeah. That is all the movies we have for you. As you know, I love watching movies. I love talking about movies, and I want to carry movies into my channels more. So I plan on seeing all of these movies this year and giving you guys a little recap of how I actually end up feeling about them, so you can hold me to that. You can. If you want to tell us what you're excited to see or what you think will be absolutely horrible this year, let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see this guy again, let me know in the comments below. You've seen him before on this channel. If you guys didn't know, Cruise is in a band called Reverse Order, and they have an anti-bullying nonprofit called Reverse the Trend, and they're about to go back on tour for the second time this school year. And they go to 200 schools.
Over 200 schools every year, and we talk to kids about bullying, and we mix it with music.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check that out and find out more about that or how to get them at your school, you can go to reversethethrendnow.org and find out any information you want to know there. They also just released a super cool new song called Erase You, and I'll link that below if you guys want to hear it.
If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe. She'd love to have you as part of the Awkward Gravity X family. Bye-bye!
No, you said it wrong. And I will see you guys again very soon.
Soon.
Bye-bye!